we're about to really have a larger conversation about Azusa. Many here are at least familiar with some of the contours of that, and we're grateful for the common roots that we share of awakening and revival. Maybe as an introduction, before I ask some historical questions and some ecclesial questions, share us a little bit about your journey. You had this journey with this marvelous woman of God, but share with us a little bit of your testimony and your journey, and then I want to use that so that we can have a little window into the world that you are delighted to serve. So how's God been at work in you?
Well, I think it was, mainly, when I first started on the personal side, even before actually the presiding bishop came, I did a little study on my family genealogy. So I was kind of already interested, and as a local pastor in Nebraska, I was studying on Azusa and who was who were the founders. I started doing this little analogy once I got out of my own family's genealogy, and then took it to the church world. So I wanted to see the global imprint of what Pentecostalism was to the world. So I began to study it personally. That's what really started my passion. But on the spiritual side, I was already writing. When I was 17, I wrote 3 books on the Bible. One was called Who Was Christ Before He Came to Earth, Who Was Satan in Heaven and His Earthly Works, and one was on angels. So when I was 17, before I was out of high school.
17.
Yeah, before I was out of high school.
What were we doing at 17? Don't answer. Okay.
Yeah, and so started writing.
So you were
at a
raised,
very young age.
you were raised in the church then?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was raised in the church, and started writing early, and so I think academically, I was really involved in things, and so it just kind of fed into this history journey. I was already pastoring, that kind of thing, and then the prophetic side of me too. From the angle of I used to, speak to leaders a lot of times in private. I used to do a little different than other people. Some people do it in front of the congregation. Mine was more administrative, like Jeremiah. I took a Jeremiah approach. I'm locked out from the temple. I wasn't locked out, but I acted as if I was. So I wrote letters to them. That way, it wouldn't be whether they accept or reject, but it would be. So I went through a spiritual journey on that while I was doing the history at the same time. So it's in combination. So, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.